Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion,
or prohibiting the free exercise thereof,
or abridging the freedom of speech,
or of the press,
or of the press,
or of the right of the people peaceably
to assemble,
and to petition the government for redress of grievances.
and to petition the government for redress of grievances.
There's something really sensibly first about our First Amendment. Our whole system of government really depends on free speech and free press.
Our Constitution and our Bill of Rights all harken back to what the colonists experienced under the monarch.
In the course of the conflict leading up to the Revolution, Americans saw a genuine conspiracy in England to deprive not only Americans but English citizens of fundamental rights of free speech and free press.
We just had a revolution, and so the framers understood how important it was to have speech and assembly in order to foster revolution and keep the government honest.
You can't have a democracy, you can't have a republic, you can't have elections, you can't really have a fair system of self-government without free speech and free press.
Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion,
Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion,
or prohibiting the free exercise thereof,
or prohibiting the free exercise thereof.
One of the reasons that Americans have properly been adamant about the importance of separation of church and state is that Americans were and are an intensely religious people. And we also, among us, display a great diversity of religious belief. The diversity of religious belief is a potentially explosive and disruptive issue in our body politic. And the Founding Fathers, they knew that religion would cause nothing but disruption and trouble in politics were it to be enshrined in the Constitution.
And indeed, the original First Amendment says Congress can't mess with religion, but actually states are allowed to have established churches.
Most colonies had state-supported established religions. In all of the southern colonies, the Church of England, the Anglican Church, was the established state-supported church of those colonies. In New England, it was the Congregational Church or the Presbyterian Church.
Basically, some states had established churches, other states didn't have established churches, and the First Amendment said, Congress butt out.
Congress shall make no law,
Congress shall make no law,
Or abridging the freedom of speech, or of the press,
or of the right of the people peaceably to assemble,
and to petition the government for a redress of grievances.
I think the First Amendment, more than almost any of the amendments, is a dissenter's amendment. Although many of the amendments over time get to be interpreted consistent with public opinion, the folks that win First Amendment cases are often the dissenters, Jehovah's Witnesses, communists or alleged communists, the people that want to speak back to the government and say, this isn't right, you should change your policy. Lots of people don't like to see the American flag burned, but the court came to the conclusion, despite legislation by the states and by Congress, that people have a right to burn a flag because it's a powerful message about disagreement with what the government is doing.
So one may protest because of freedom of speech, but they may not protest and destroy the properties of others. And that's very important. The idea to protest against what the government is doing, and yet at the same time understanding that your protest has limitations as well.
These First Amendment freedoms, which originally had been protected only against Congress, came to be protected against states because of the 14th Amendment. States have to protect free speech and free press, and also free exercise of religion. Before the Civil War, Southern states made it a crime to preach against slavery, even in the pulpit. They had put preachers in prison. They had threatened them literally with capital punishment for preaching against slavery. Remember how the First Amendment began? Congress shall make no law abridging freedom. 14th Amendment says states can't make any laws abridging freedom, because after the Civil War it was clear that we needed a second Bill of Rights, a Bill of Rights against the states, and that's actually really the Bill of Rights that we have today.
I truly believe the First Amendment has kept this country together. It's unified the country and it's kept it from battles over religion, battles over speech, battles that have taken place, but it has not defeated the country.
Freedom of speech, freedom of the press, petition, assembly. We get to tell government what to do. They are public servants. They work for us. They can't tell us to shut up. The First Amendment's deep, deep idea is here the people rule.